The long nightmare is over at last. The doctor's presence lingers no more. He has been snuffed out. Good. Many have sought to kill the doctor. None have succeeded. I am one of those hunters who became prey. He possessed me, and forced me to do his bidding.
The spirit smiles, then vanishes like a shadow chased away by the sun. The box hops and dances, as if an energetic toad lives within it. A large key protrudes from the side. The box hops and dances.
Die, Isbiel!
The swaying toy sports a grin so evil, it might have spawned from the void itself. But it's not the smile that disturbs you most. It's the ominous ticking of the mechanism beneath.
The doctor sends his regards!
Darkness. You paw at your face with the stumps that were once your hands. They find empty eye sockets sewn shut. You cry out, but without your tongue, you can only muster a pitiful moan. You awaken, still strapped down. You groggily turn your head to see the doctor place another piece of you into a jar of fluid. How much more can you lose and still live? You eagerly follow the doctor. Your husband's operation was a success, and now you can see him. The doctor ushers you into a dark room. There's a strange smell in here. You burst into tears of relief. The doctor has agreed to treat your ailments. He ushers you towards the inner chambers.
Prisoner. Poor soul.
Wet eyes, red face, soiled garb. The dwarf suffering is writ on his body and soul. He opens his mouth to speak, revealing a gaping darkness where his tongue should be. You recognize him. This is Barston Tongues, the self-assured driftwood bard, whose golden voice filled the tavern with verse. His lips part. Drool trickles from his lower lip, but he speaks no words, and there is no meaning to be found in his formless throat burbles. The dwarf's eyes widen in gratitude. He blinks, yet no tears fall from the pink goo that's collected in the corners.
It's the bard from Driftwood. Looks like his singing days are over. Artifacts, protected by magical shields. Locked with magic.
They're paired up. When you unlock one, you lock the other.
I think the damn thing's closed for good. I think the damn thing's closed for good.
unlocks, the other locks. How annoying.
Good. When you unlock one, you lock the other. But now the other is stuck fast.
In the squalor of these hellish surroundings, you spy a lone, bewildered figure.
Who's there? So dark. Step in from the shadows. Lohse, bless the sight of you. The demon, Adramalik. Too powerful. Possessed. Kill it. If you can. I beg of you, Lohse. Adramalik. His name is not enough. He knew I was coming for him. A trap. A cage. So fast. Like lightning before the thunder. So fast. My soul encaged. Yes. A newfound silence. Sweet absence of agony. The 1,000 teeth are gone, gnawing at the mind and heart. I faced the hell scarcely to be imagined. But you, torchbearer, led me out of the dark. You are stronger than any demon, Lohse. You always were. Thank you. Bless you. You did what I could not. After such a feat, it cannot be denied. You are worthy of divinity. I must depart for the Lady Vengeance. There I can recover. Go claim the power of the gods, and do unto the void as you did unto the demon. Only you can. I will pray for you, now and when divine. Here I am, Lohse. Meet your first worshipper.
Wet eyes, red You recognize him. His lips You stare at the corpses. They seem familiar. You remember screaming. Then it hits you. You remember Blood Moon Island, when the Advocate gave you the gift of the Source. This is where that source came from. These poor unfortunates died suffering, that you may be more powerful.
Could be worse. It could be raining.
The world has a way of separating the chaff from the wheat. It can be painful, but it can't be avoided.
They did okay. Their ordeal ended.
You ended my suffering. I am a projection of the spirit of Elenessa. The demon is dead. I am no longer his slave. You have my gratitude, and in recognition of all that you've done, I shall give you the spirit of an elven morning star. Made of pure source, it will pierce your enemy's armor. I know you shall use it in the service of good. Fare you well, Demon Slayer. Fare you well.
Drama leaks. A single soul. A light snuffed out. I did this. I did this.
Think they'll open the shops anytime soon?
I've seen a few traders about the place.
Black wax. Am I to blame for this?
I serve all who seek aid, Mom.
Too loud. What do you think the paladins would do to us if they heard you going wrong like that?
Ark's is still a free city, last time I checked.
There's bodies in the streets. This place isn't free, not anymore.
How's the potion business going?
Magister's routed. Lord Kemp's paladin's back in charge.
I heard that the paladins killed unarmed magisters. Didn't even let them surrender.
Too loud. What do you think the paladins would do to us if they heard you going wrong like that?
Ark's is still a free city, last time I checked.
There's bodies in the streets. This place isn't free, not anymore.
Friendly Hubert publishes latest edition. New book already out of date.
I welcome newcomers and natives alike. We shall trade. We shall talk.
Too loud. What do you think the paladins would do to us if they heard you going wrong like that?
Ark's is a free city, last time I checked.
Back to refill your quiver, are you? You a hunter? I've got just the
A
thing.
most warm welcome. May my elixirs ease your burdens, kin.
Sturdy bows and sharp arrows, here for the choosing.
Nature provides.
You have the trust of Lord Ahu. Show that you deserve it.
I pledge my life.
I pledge my
I pledge my
I've
life.
spotted something. Lucian. He doomed us all when he adopted the baby Damien. I wonder what I would have done in his place.
I pledge my trust.
My soul, oh Lucian, please return.
Can we go in? To see the paintings.
pledge my heart, O Lucian. Please return.
I pledge my heart, O Lucian. Please return.
Ho, Pilgrim.
May Lucian return.
Good luck on the path of blood, Pilgrim. I hope you're truly free from sin.
Seems unlikely, judging by the look of you.
I pledge my life.
Eye sharp, Paladin. The Grand Master's chamber must be protected.
Aye, ma'am.
Dear Lucian, I pledge my
soul to you, O
Please
Lucian.
I pledge my head. Please return.
No, my heart.
I pledge my soul
I pledge
to
my
you,
heart,
O Lucian.
Lucian.
Please return.
Come back.
My soul! Oh, Lucian!
I pledge my
Please
head.
return.
No, my heart. I pledge my heart, Lucian. Come back. Shh. I'm praying.
Lucian,
I pledge myself to you, O Lucian.
This prayer is silly. I'm going to say the prayer 1,000,000 times more than anyone else.
I pledge my soul. Oh,
It's in the beginning.
I pledge my heart, O Lucian.
They pledged their hearts, O Lucian, the lambs. Please return. They pledged their souls, O...
Ahu and Zandalor finding Lucian. Lucian slaying Damien. The ascension of Lucian. Lucian and Damien. The Great War.
We came all this way.
Duna, god of the dwarves. Did they really need such a big painting? Amadia, mother of wizards. She's cute for a source sucker. Vroger of the orcs, the bloodthirsty degenerate. Zantedza, goddess of imps, mirth, and laughter. Something tells me she's not laughing now. Zorl Stissa. She taught us of the survival of the fittest. And so it came to pass. Tir-Sandelius, the elven cannibal. That should have been a hint. Ralik, a swindler and a brute.
The scribe scowls at you and turns back to his writing.
Do you mind? I'm trying to write about Zantedza, the god of mirth and laughter, and you're blocking my damn light.
The scribe glances at you from her manuscript.
I'm trying to write about Zorl Stissa, the graceful warrior. Please, no more distractions.
The scribe doesn't notice you at first. She remains utterly focused on her writing. Finally, she glances up.
I'm writing about Amadia, the mother of all magic. Truly fascinating.
The scribe chews absently on one end of her quill. The page before her is filled with tales of Duna.
Long of beard and short of stature. It's not the most original description of Duna. I hope you won't take offense.
The scribe writes very slowly and deliberately. You see the name Tiercellendius at the top of the page.
Tiercellendius might have known the poet, but it still seems strange to write about him on what used to be a tree.
The scribe squints as she reads back over the page she's just written. You catch a glimpse of text extolling Vrogir's bloody virtues.
No wonder the orcs vanished, considering how brutal their god Vrogir was. I'd disappear too if I was one of them. Still, his tale is my duty.
The scribe fills the parchment before him at a rapid pace, a self-satisfied smile playing on his lips.
I've been tasked with writing about the deeds of Ralik, first of the 7. I'll wager my work will find more readers than the other 6 combined.
Lord Ahu has returned. Thank the gods. Thank you. We owe you a great debt. I haven't seen the likes of her the whole time I've been stationed here. And I think it's fair to say I'd remember if I did. You may proceed. My sharp paladin. The Grand Master's chamber must be protected.
I wish I could be working that fancy wedding I keep hearing about. I'd earn more gold over there than serving up slop to priests here.
I doubt it. There's no one left who's free of sin.
I pledge my life. Oh, Lucian, please return.
I doubt it. There's no one left.
My sharp paladin. The Grand Master's chamber
Hello? Hey, have you got my ball? Smelly person threw my ball away and I couldn't go fetch. Threw it off the balcony and I couldn't find it. But then Master Ahu came back. So that's nice. I love Master Ahu.
My sharp paladin. The Grand Master's chamber must be protected.
Friend of Master's. Used to smell old. Now he smells rotten. And he's mean. Threw my ball away. Smelly man threw my ball away and now I'm sad. It's my ball, and I love my ball.
I sharp paladin. The Grand Master's chamber must be protected.
I'm waiting.
Another victim. My victim.
A ball. With teeth marks in it. Smells of dog.
Hello? Oh, fantastic! He smelled like the front of a flower shop and the back of a butcher's, like he was using flowers to hide the rot. And his clothes smelled of Louis. Louis's my friend. Yeah, but Master Ahu went away with the smelly man, and then he came back.
I should have seen this coming. How could I have missed it? God Woken, you return. God Woken, you return. Many obstacles lie between the path of blood and the resting place of the divine. I can only help with one, the Death Room. It is a room of many levers. 5 will lead you closer to your goal. The rest will lead you to your death. Each lever is named for a virtue of the divine. Find the levers whose initials spell the word power. Select these 5 and these alone. Put the amulet on and charge it up by consuming source. Once it's got 5 charges in it, it'll be ready to go. Bring the amulet and the scroll to the path of blood. By the statue of Lucian, there is a hidden mechanism. Set the fully charged amulet in the hidden receptacle, then read from the scroll. My dear, we all have questions. Sometimes we may even get answers. The divine worked in mysterious ways, and if one designer,
Ahu,
the others died.
If only Lucian were here.
Greetings. Have you come to join us in the endless prayer, or do you wish to walk the path of blood? Lucian's day wouldn't be the same without the faithful gathering to petition for his return. The more voices that join our cry, the better. Ah, the path of blood is a more advanced form of pilgrimage. I would not advise it unless you believe yourself to be free from sin. And trust me, none are free from sin. The path of blood ends in death for those who attempt it. Consider yourself warned. It was Lord Ahu's creation. He is the crypt's keeper, of course, and oversaw the construction himself. He couldn't have done it without the help of Sanders, though. Quite a talent for engineering, that one. Spends most of his time tinkering with toys nowadays. Such a pity. But that's the price you pay for genius, I suppose.
My Lucian's love, can't you leave me be? I've lost enough today.
Oh, Lucian. Please return.
I pledge my soul, please return.
Hey, me first!
Something closed the door.
I pledge my soul, Lucian. Please return. I pledge my life, Lucian. Please return.
Looking at this, I'd say we're close to Lucian's body.
How did this happen? I gave away a small fortune to the cathedral and the schools and the poor on the streets. I paid what was owed. I should be cleansed of my sins.
All those poor dead elves have haunted my dreams ever since the war. I thought I'd be forgiven. I thought I'd suffered enough. I was wrong.
The bewildered ghost stares at her own dead corpse. A single thought emanates from her spirit. That I was pure. The heat of her shame warms your heart.
I don't understand. I was sure I'd make it. What did I do wrong? Did I commit some sin without knowing? Did I sin by thinking I was pure? Blessed Divine, enlighten me!
There, a switch.
There, a switch.
The whole affair with that girl happened decades ago. I've led a pious life ever since. Am I really to be judged for all time because of this one indiscretion?
There, a switch.
There's a curious-looking panel discreetly nestled upon the wall. Upon it is a lone button. There's a slot in the center of the button. It looks like something should be placed in it.
The amulet fits the slot perfectly. The mechanisms around it begin to glow with source.
The button slowly sinks into the wall, as if pushed by an invisible hand.
The source fades from the amulet, consumed by the inner mechanisms of the button. Gears turn behind the ancient walls, almost like they're acknowledging the words you spoke. A nearby hatch in the floor unseals itself. The statue reaches toward the sky, as though preparing to take flight. The bottom drops out from within you. She lifts you up, up, up.
Won't budge. Won't budge. No sign of Lucian's body. Has Dallas beaten us here?
Peering through the iron grating, you can see how it connects to the strange pipework beneath. The Blessed Altar seems to want to be touched. In the space beyond the altar, the pipework shifts. The altar seems to respond. Beyond it, something creaks, as if the pipework was moving. The sound comes from beyond the altar, but also echoes and gurgles behind. A blessed, the altar.
A blessed stone altar. In the pit beyond, things move once more, as if returning to their original. A blessed stone altar. In the space beyond the... The altar seems to respond. A blessed stone altar. In the space beyond the... The altar... A blessed stone altar. In the pit beyond. A blessed stone altar. The altar seems to... A blessed stone... In the space... The altar... A blessed in the space be... In the space be... The altar seems... A blessed stone or in the pit beyond. A blessed in the space be... In the space be... The altar seems... Peering through the iron grate. A blessed stone in the space beyond. The altar seems...
Venture no farther. Only death lies beyond. Blood need not be spilled. Bones need not be broken. Preserve thyself and flee. To cross this threshold is to plunge into thy grave. Do not decide in haste. Very well. Embrace thy fate.
Look out! I see a trap nearby.
Moving to involuntary death assistant. Reinforcement deployed.
They just keep coming. Look around. There's got to be a way to make them stop.
Moving to Arcus manipulator. Orifice manipulator activated.
Oh, there's no end to them.
coming. Look around.
There's got to be a way to make them stop.
Moving to orifice manipulator. Moving to corporeal transposition engine. Corporeal transposition imminent. Moving to reinforcement deployer. All reinforcements deployed.
Another one? How many more could there be?
Moving to reinforcement deployer. Not just atmosphere enabled. Orifice manipulator already at full deployment. Moving to noxious atmosphere enabled. Noxious atmosphere enabled. Moving to reinforcement deploy. All reinforcements deployed. Moving to orifice manipulator. Orifice manipulator activated. Moving to rapid descent cranial disruptor. Moving to involuntary death assistant.
Venture to
Moving to involuntary death assistant.
That lever did something. I could feel it.
Glory is mine!
It feels like that lever did something.
Moving to noxious atmosphere in it. Moving to noxious atmosphere in it. Moving to rapid is a cranial disruptor.
Something happened, I think.
noxious atmosphere already in effect. Moving to sulfide vent is scintillating.
Look out! I see a trap nearby. Careful now. That's a trap. Careful now. That's a trap.
Careful now, that's a trap.
Must be getting closer to Lucian's crypt.
You reach for your weapon, but as the small Voidwoken skitters forward, you get the sense that it's not here to fight. It looks at Fane, clicking and chittering in excitement, and introduces itself. Fane starts in shock. He knows it. The Voidwoken was a colleague from Fane's days at the Academy, his assistant. It claims it knows how to save the Eternals. It promises Fane that if he can snatch the powers of the Seven, then he can restore his people. Not under the rule of the God King or the Void, they would finally be free. Fane turns away, pensive and quiet. Even as a skull, you can see the pain etched into his face.
Do you know, this Ark's place is only about 1/3 bad, really. Important does not do it justice. She tells me there is a way to save my people. The power of Divinity could bring them back. Not as monsters, but restored to their former glory. I could have my old life again. That issue is not as pressing as you might imagine. The Eternals cannot be eternal without the source your god stole from them. No, if they return, they will reclaim their source. The source that was used to create you. If the Eternals come home to this world, we will live in it as your masters. You will be our slaves at best, our food at worst. You want me to abandon them? To leave them to burn for eternity under the void? I understand that you're angry, but it's just... they're my people. Although, well, so are you. I'm sorry. I can't talk about this right now.
The truth hangs heavy upon the air itself, unspoken. This is the point of no return. Somewhere beyond this point, you shall be undone, or you shall ascend. There is no middle ground. The squirrel looks up at you and pats your leg reassuringly. He gives you a nervous thumbs up before turning and galloping away on his cat.
You come here often. I don't know what you did, but you just released a source flood. I thought I'd come and see what all the fuss was about. Should have known you were getting yourself into trouble. Looks like the big moment has finally arrived. I will do everything I can to support you, Godwoken. I will pray for you. I think you'll need it. You'd think, right? But no. This is your moment. Still, do not underestimate my presence. This is a place of incredible power where a single prayer holds the weight of thousands. So, I will pray for you. Your heart and soul will fill as quickly as they're drained. Consider it a taste of your divine future. The people will pray for you. In turn, they'll trust you to do right by them, as I'm trusting you to do now. Of course, it's up to you whether or not to listen. I know how I'd respond, but you do you.
Melody wearily chuckles to herself, then bowed her head in a show of unexpected but sincere reverence.
Looks like my investment's paid off after all.
You've shown me kindness in the face of my sins. My worship is the least I can offer.
I've always preferred to be the one reaping the attention, but you've turned the tables. I suppose it's only right, seeing as how a new divinity may stand before me.
Now go. Rivellon needs a new divine.
God woken. Dallas told me about you. You must be as hard as diamonds, and twice as bright, to have come so far. Your divine welcomes you.
The divine you thought dead lords over the chamber from a granite throne. He moves to speak, but it's Riedeman's voice that next pierces the air.
What a twist.
Lucian frowns at Riedemann, then turns to the silent monk standing near and smiles widely. Reality sets in. The monk is Gareth. No longer seeker, but slave.
Oh, Gareth. He was always so devoted, and so stubborn. In this form, his faith won't falter. The ideal servant.
I underestimated you, Godwoken. You have proven to be a formidable foe. You have my respect.
Respect? Indeed.
Lucian's gaze rests upon you and goes through you. He takes your measure entirely.
Lucian, we should tell the Godwoken the truth.
Yes, I agree. It is time we dropped our masks.
Dallas nods, then reaches for the sides of her head. Where there was one face, suddenly there are four. She takes off the mask of the shapeshifter. A skull is revealed, bejeweled and ancient as the void.
I am eternal.
Aren't they just full of surprises?
Fear not, Godwoken. Dallas is on the side of all that is good. She is helping me rid Rivellon of the influence of the Source. Listen to her.
I shall tell you the tale as I told it to Lucian. Long ago, the scholar Fane discovered that the veil between the world and the void was made of Source. Our 7 lords desired this power.
Of course.
Silence, slave. Our king forbade the 7 to reach for this power, but they didn't listen. Instead, they rebelled and sent the king and his people into the void.
With the Source they stole from the Veil. The 7 created the races so they would have worshippers.
During their lives, worshippers collect Source. When they die, the gods feed from them. It's an ingenious system.
Our souls are nothing but vats for the Source-hungry gods.
The 7 made a mistake. By taking its source, they tore a hole in the veil, and it is through this hole that the void finds its way into our world.
The 7's lust for power let in the void. Our goal is to close the hole they created, to restore the Source to the veil. When we are done, there shall be no more Source in the world. Rivellon will be finally free from the gods that enslaved them.
My people cannot be allowed to return from the void. They are tarnished. They are void-woken. They can only bring chaos and death and...
There is more, but she hesitates to share it. Then she decides that she must.
I was a child when the God King tore my family apart. I was purged of Source and left to rot in a putrid tomb. A child. It was hell. A hell I suffered for the sins of my father. He was the one that betrayed the God King. He was the one that told the 7 the secrets of the Veil. The cruel joke of it all is that the same tomb that housed my tortured body is what sheltered me from the void. Few Eternals escaped that fate. Myself, my mother, and Fane. Yes, Fane is my father.
What? No. It can't be. Everything Dallas did. It was all you. Child.
Everything I did to fix your mistake. Our people, every purged sorcerer, every dead magister, all those weeping families. They're on your head, Father. But now I have revenge. Revenge on the Seven and the God King. Revenge for what they took from me. My life. My people. My mother!
The hammer's voice falters and her coolness vanishes. Every crack and rasp betrays her grief. But her next words burn not with sadness, but anger.
Did you even look for me? Did you even look for her?
Dallis, control yourself. Our purpose transcends your personal wounds.
Yes. You are right.
Dallas's reasons weren't mine to question. All that ever mattered to me was peace. Peace for Rivellon. Peace for me, whatever the means. And now, we are on the precipice.
She sacrificed herself for the betterment of Rivellon. She didn't do it willingly, mind you. Curiosity led her to the tomb. My hunger for source took care of the rest. I presume her bones remained there. And then I took her place. Face rippers are such marvels, aren't they? It didn't take long to realize that Lucian was the key to my vengeance, and I was the key to the salvation of Rivellon.
While Dallis sought the Aetheran, I started draining the gods of their source.
Slurp, slurp, slurp.
One more word from you, and I shall use the leash.
I had to hide from the gods. So I had the walls of this crypt equipped with tenebrium and protections put in place. It worked. Everyone, even the gods, thought me dead. As divine, I was created, empowered to stop the void. I was the avatar of the Seven, their strength and their weakness. My bond to them allowed me to drain them of their source.
Maggot! I am no slave.
With a flick of her wrist, Dallis sends a jolt through Brachus's body. He writhes in pain.
Don't worry, he's well under control. He has made a fine servant. Isn't that right? Ingrate. I used him to find the Aetheran. When we're done, I'll release him from his duty and free him from his pain. Until then...
Dallis punctuates her statement with another wrist flip. Brachus shudders, but his lips remain curled in a self-satisfied grimace.
Yes, in a sense. When the death fog was unleashed, many elves died. With fewer elves to worship him, Tias and Dilius weakened. This gave the God King his first real foothold back in the world. To strengthen himself, he sent his Voidwoken, the remnants of my people, to hunt down the sorcerers seeking to reclaim their source.
The Voidwoken. Disgusting things. They ravaged the land they touched and infected the air they breathed. They were also an incredible stroke of luck. You see, blaming the sorcerers for Voidwoken made them easier to capture.
The Aetheran now contains almost all of the source the Seven stole. Soon, we will be able to heal the Veil.
The void shall be banished, and I, Lucian the Divine, shall return from the dead. A false divine, of course. I shall have no power, but the world will not know this. I shall demand peace, and we shall have it.
The plan is almost complete.
We have made so many sacrifices, Godwoken. All of us. Of ourselves and those we love. One last sacrifice is required. For the future of Rivellon, you must surrender your source.
Decide. Be the true hero and give up your source, or be forced to submit. Like a coward. Like a slave.
There is no other way. The source of the world is required to close the veil. All of the source. We only lack yours.
As I say, one last sacrifice is required. Yours. We already had more than enough Godwoken.
Another sacrifice I was forced to make. Those beautiful people. I was as kind as I could be. I promise you that.
Good. You understand.
The world shall not know this. I shall return from the grave, a divine without power, yet all who desire power shall fear me. I shall carry the secret of my lack of divinity. Peace shall reign.
Then let us proceed. Show some responsibility, Father! Surrender your source!
Sealing the veil will lock our people away forever. They will never be free of the void. Though if they return, what becomes of this world?
Fane turns to you. In all the time that you've traveled together, you've never seen him like this. He's trembling with emotion.
And you, my fellow adventurers. Together we have seen more than generations of mortals could ever see. You have seen the horrors of the void, and I have seen this world through your eyes. You showed me how beautiful it really was. There is no one else I would trust to make this choice. Whatever you decide, I will follow.
You'll be a hero. Everyone will know of the sacrifice you'll make. Your name will be synonymous with the survival of Rivellon.
Don't let them do this to us!
But our souls, there has to be another way.
No, never.
I understand. Sacrifice takes courage, but I shall help you. Though it pains me, your sacrifice shall be made for you. That is...
I'm sorry. You've come such a long way, but there is too much at stake. This is the end.
poorly, Dallas. Good. You shall not seal the veil. And now it is time. I call on the God King. Come claim what is yours.
How? What? You are unleashed!
Wiedemann cackles in delight at this turn of events. His unbridled glee slithers into your veins and throttles your heart.
You left the leashing wand next to me, you stupid maggot. So accustomed had you become to me pretending to be your slave.
Kill him!
Do shut up, you tedious buffoon. And don't look so surprised. As if I would allow that bone-bag Dallas to enslave me. Me? You should have listened to Tarquin, you worm-ridden wench. Nobody enslaves Brachus Rex. I am Brachus Rex. I am the Source King.
Yes, kill him. Now!
Too late, you mouldering, blight-stained pigs. Grant me power, my ally. God King, I call on you. The God King hears my call. He sends a companion worthy of my power. Come to your father, my friend. Come to the Source King. I call...
How?
Friedemann, you let... Kill him! Do shut up, you tedious buffoon. This is not the time. Too late, you mouldering... You would interrupt Brachus Rex? You would interrupt the Source King? The God King hears my... He's come to your father. Come to the Source King. poorly, Dallas. Good. You shall not seal the veil. And now it is time. I call on...
How?
Friedemann,
you let...
Kill him!
Do shut up, you tedious buffoon. And don't look so surprised. As if I would allow that...
This is not the...
Too late, you mouldering blight. The God King hears my call. He sends a companion. Come to your father. Come to the Source King.
No one's ever regretted.
Jehan runs his fingers across his temples and scalp, intermittently squeezing and massaging, as if nursing a severe headache.
Adramalik's voice has gone silent. But I'm afraid my recovery will take a touch of time. I am well past my prime, you know. I have no plans whatsoever, beyond dusting my head for crud and cobwebs. After that, well, as long as the essence of Nemesis finds a way to leak into Rivellon, there'll be hunting to do. I'll enjoy peace when it's truly mine to have.
The truth hangs heavy upon the air itself, unspoken. This is the point of no return. Somewhere...
Come here often. Looks like they don't underestimate of I know.
God woken. God woken.
I shall tell you the tale as I told it to Lucian. Long ago,
of course,
our king, during this, when my people I was, it was the everything up and
the ham. Dallas control.
Yes.
Dallas's reasons weren't mine to question.
And one more.
I had to, as divine, I would.
Yeah.
The voice, you see.
The eternal.
The voice of false.
The plan.
We have made.
Decide.
There is no. We only lack.
As good.
The world shall not know this.
We all.
Another sacrifice I was forced to make.
Then let us.
Sealing the though if feigned, and you showed.
You'll be a.
Don't let.
But no, never.
I understand your sacrifice.
I'm sorry. You've come such.
Rekt, I am the Source King. You shall not seal the veil, and I shall not be struck down. I call on the God King.
How? What? You are unleashed!
Friedemann,
You left.
Kill him!
Do shut up.
This is not the time for...
Too late, you mouldering, blight-stained pigs. Grant me... You dare interrupt Brachus Rex? How novel. Who are you to challenge the Source King? Ha! You are the fetid dirt on my boot. You are nothing at all. I am the Source King. I shall rule. The God King hears my... He sends a complaint to your father. Come to the Source King!
Lucian struggles to rise, but the weight of his own pain leaves him to gravity's mercy.
My time is done. But your source burns so bright I'm all but blinded by it. Be wise and true, Godwoken. I am no hero, but wisdom and truth. These are values I always believed in.
Dallis groans in pain.
I have failed. The future of all that is rests on your shoulders.
Well then, this is, as they say, it. I never dreamed that after all this, I would be standing here with one of your kind, let alone that I would be proud to do so. I cannot imagine someone I would trust more with divinity, including myself.
Fane lays a bony hand on your shoulder, squeezing gently.
Do you know, I believe you will.
Listen, this is it. Again. And I want you to know I'm not putting up a fight, not against you. My revels are now ended. Yours are about to begin. I've had my vengeance, my life and my liberty. You helped me win them back. And then, when you told me you loved me, all of me awoke. All I want now is for this to end. To be by your side when we wage the final battle. And long, long after. I know you do. And I love you too. Now kiss me.
You kiss each other passionately, ready to face the darkest dark.
This is it. I can hardly believe it.
She casts her gaze around the crypt in awe.
After everything we've been through, after everything we've seen, here we are. Here I am. And now that I see godhood before me, I know what I have to do. Chief, you need to ascend. There's no one I would trust with this responsibility but you. I know you'll do what needs to be done, what ought to be done. And I know You'll do it with style. Ha! They'll never know what hit them. Now go on, shoo. You've got business to attend to.
You think back on your journey here, on all that you have seen and done. You think of the Magisters, and the sorcerers they hunted, and of the good and the evil on both sides. You think of how the Eternals came as Voidwoken to reclaim their stolen world. You look at the source around you. The power is immense. Divinity at your fingertips. You think of what you could do with such power. The rights you'd wrong, the wars you'd win. You marvel at your journey and how it has changed you. You think of those you left behind, and of those you met along the way, who stood by you or against you. It's time to choose your fate, and the fate of all you hold dear. What shall it be? Shall you be divine? After all that you have been through, and all that you have done, all that you have become, the Aetheran lies in front of you. Divinity is yours to take, or to sacrifice. What you do next decides your own fate, and the future of the world. What shall you do with Divinity?
And so it ended. A tale that began with my own ill-fated attempt to rid the world of the Godwoken. A new divine rose, a true heir to the Seven, more powerful than ever, and united Rivellon in its battle against the Void. All across the realm, she was loved, worshipped, and adored. Humans, lizards, elves, and dwarves all rallied to her banner. The Great Allegiance stood once more, but the war continued. From the depths of the Void, the God King still sought to return. As for me, I was freed of the God King's terrible tyranny. I avoided an eternity of pain and suffering. Now I fight for the other side. Now, I fight for the divine.
Well, well. Look what the cat dragged in. A god, no less. And me in no state to shake hands. Divinity suits you. Though I know of one it might have suited even better.
You escaped an abominable prison and confronted the king of all gods, only in turn to confront divinity itself. A rather poetic arc, don't you think? Not that your story is finished, of course. Your divinity shines upon all who walk Rivellon. And there will be those that escape to the shadows. You must be ready to face them, whenever they might emerge. As a matter of fact, yes. Source makes for an excellent ally in matters of a demonic nature. Not only can Void seep through the veil, but the beasts of Nemesis might similarly slip out of their own plane. Whether you are clever enough of a divine to keep Damien's disciples confined to Nemesis, I can't say. But I think we'll know soon enough. And I suggest you be ready. Now that I am clear of mind and free of intruders, I'm wondering if it isn't time to share my learnings with the less enlightened. And to that end, I have a few ideas worth considering. Once I've come to a conclusion, I promise you'll be the first to know. Until we meet again.
I've never been fond of what the Divine stands for, but I must say, it's rather exciting to say I've been up close and personal with one. Reform my ways? How adorable. No, I'm afraid I cannot escape who I am and what I've done.
Her eyes flick down to your mouth. She smiles coyly, then slinks forward to kiss you. Almira pouts in disappointment, but it quickly morphs into a devilish grin.
Oh, no matter. We'll always have our first kiss. I haven't been quite able to put it out of my mind. Just as I'm sure you won't be able to put me out of your mind. Who knows? A nice cottage someplace quiet for Mahalia and I. A roaring fire and a feather bed. Maybe. Maybe. But a girl needs some fun, doesn't she?
You're the new Divine. That's so cool. What's it like? Neat! I'll be counting on you. There's also the matter of my payment for all the stuff I've done for you. That'll be...
He taps his fingers and mouths silently while he counts, until he arrives at an acceptable figure.
1,300,000 dozen and 50 teen gold pieces. Now pay up. Oh yeah? What's that?
Han ponders your suggestion for all of a second.
You got it. Everybody better watch out. Han'll get you if you come too close. But you better believe the bill for that will be a doozy.
Oh my, you! Look who it is! Our brand new Lord and Saviour.
She curtsies low and looks up at you with a grin.
So, what's your first order of business? End world hunger? Instigate world peace? Send all spiders back to hell where they belong? I don't know if anyone's free of anything, once and for all. But I'm bloody thrilled to be here now. Just me, myself, and you, of course. Big job. I'd offer to help, but I've got some business of my own to attend to. Get loot, play loot, get glad. So, Chief, I guess this is it, right? Don't speak too soon. You're a god now, after all. Soon enough, your brain will be full of all the fates of all the people in all the realm. Let me know if you see any falling boulders coming my way, though. Or goiters or something.
As she turns from you, the whites of her eyes darken, the veins in her face go grey, and a wicked smile curls her mouth. Suddenly, it's gone again. She winks, and you're left wondering whether you saw anything at all.
See you around.
Well, if it isn't the new Divine gracing me with her presence. How honored I am. That is the question, isn't it? How does one top the greatest feat of necromancy ever conceived? I might have the answer to that. Tell me, have you ever heard of Tactician? No, of course you wouldn't. It's a written language, unreadable to most, but myself naturally. It comes from a mysterious race from another world, beings that feed on minds. I intend to seek them out. This Tactician seems to guard portals to their realm. Once I've uncovered one, well, I settle for being the greatest mind in just one world, and there's another for the taking.
Tarquin's smirk wilts into a glow.
I didn't come all this way to show deference. Some friendly advice. All who rise are capable of falling. Gods, the divine, anyone. Remember where you came from. The last thing this world needs is more tyrants.
The squirrel looks up at you and pats your leg reassuringly. He gives you a nervous thumbs up before turning and galloping away on his cat. Beast Spirit smiles as you approach and begins to sing a tune you think vaguely familiar.
Here the wild beast just sails on the ocean. He's docked in the bay and coming your way. Off on the yawn, you hear the commotion. He's docked in the bay and coming your way. The cupboard can't hide you, nor can your berth. His daggers don't care about the gold that you're worth. He'll bury your bones neath a mountain of earth. He's docked in the bay and coming your way.
He pauses, then continues to hum, all the while working his ghostly whiskers. Fane is reading a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia. He leafs through it slowly, muttering to himself.
Interesting.
His eyes stay fixed on the book as you approach. Fane looks up, his gaze carefully drinking you in.
Fascinating. The power of my people. The power of the Veil. All in one delicate mortal shell. Who could have imagined? I don't doubt it.
The skeleton looks back to the book. You can feel the grief radiating from him.
I can't help thinking that I could have saved them. That I could have done something. Right. An interesting concept. You creatures talk about right and wrong as if they are carved in stone somewhere for all to see. No. I made a choice. And I shall live with that choice until the end of days. That doesn't mean I cannot mourn them, though. They deserve that much.
The skeleton hefts Hubert's dog-eared encyclopedia, its weight heavy in his hands.
I've been rereading this book, looking over your history once again, poring over every detail with a new perspective, and do you know what? It's shit.
Fane tosses the book over his shoulder. It flutters in the air as it sails over the ship's railing and disappears with a faint splash.
If you have spent your life staring at a thing, you can write about it with knowledge. You can write about it with love. But it is almost impossible to write about it with wonder. You creatures have spent your lives trudging about this world, and you've grown blind to its miracles. Take otters, for example. Energetic, waterproof cats, utterly beautiful creatures. Or octopuses. Did you know they're secretly Octopuses? Octopi? Octopods? Oh, I shall have to look that up. Regardless, the world is filled with absolutely incredible sights. And who better to catalogue them with the awe they deserve than someone seeing them for the first time? Do you know, there is the idea that nothing is ever truly created or destroyed. I suppose we are all Source, just in different forms. You being the cruder, less jewel-encrusted form, naturally. But my people were Source too, although we didn't know it at the time. And our Source helped create you. In a way, I was walking alongside the best version of them the entire time. In you, I found a home better than the one I was pining for. Thank you, Godworker.
There's nothing interesting down there. The future lies above, not below.
Darling, there you are. Come, let me take a look at you. I've never known a god before they became divine. I was curious if it would have changed you.
She gives you a long, assessing look, but makes no immediate comment. She paces around you like a cat, looking you over.
Well, you certainly look the same. But there's something in the air around you. It vibrates ever so slightly. There's magic in it. Power. Don't you feel it? Maybe you should give it a bit of time. I imagine it takes almighty power a little while to settle in. That quite depends on you, I suppose. Is a deity permitted to mingle among us mortals?
She laughs, and it's music to your soul.
I certainly hope so. We love each other after all.
A kiss, and oh, how sweet she tastes.
Love conquers even divinity.
The flaming hatchling bounces and cheeps out of sheer excitement. Malady stands tall and proud, sunlight sparkling off her mask. From here, she looks almost angelic.
Well, here we are again. You, me, and the ship I've saved from ruin for your personal benefit. I'd say you owe me, but why state the obvious? Let an eyeful, Your Holiness. I expect it's the last we'll see of each other for some time.
She turns to you, arms crossed, and grins.
Look at you. Magnificent. Don't I know it? Let's hope it pays off.
She fingers the mask, covering her face. For a moment, it seems as though she's about to remove it. But instead, she places a hand on your shoulder.
We've come a long way together. I did my best by you all the way. I sacrificed much. But I'd give even more to see you become exactly what you've become. Soon, I'd like to have a little chat about something you can do for me. But I believe that can wait. Relax. Enjoy. I certainly plan to do the same. Oh, I don't know, around and about. Treat myself to some mead, a level 300. I'd say we've earned it. And when the time comes, I'll come find you, Your Holiness.
almost as much pleasure to speak to you as it does to be whole again. Consider me to be a gift from Malady. My wood was splintered, but my spirit intact. It was a great feat, but given her skill, not a surprising one. I feel better than new. I will always be an ally to those that carry swords, to those whose blood is of the heroes of old, and so, as always, I am at the ready. Shall we sail?
You look out to the endless beyond. The sun's light plays upon the waves, just as it always did. The sails flutter in the wind, just as they always will. And yet, something is different. You are different. And with a start, you realize where you must go next. You speak the command to the Lady Vengeance, and another chapter begins. War raged on. Arx remained the center of power as the races united behind the Divine. But the Voidwoken attacks continued as they did elsewhere. Arx would see many more long years of war. The ancient empire of lizards became one of the pillars of the new Divine Alliance. The Houses of War and of Shadows were particularly useful in the fight against the God King. The Empire used the war to expand its territory. With Justinia dead, the Dwarven Kingdom descended into chaos. But although they did not join the Divine Alliance, many joined the fight against the Void, and did their people great honor in battle and in death. With Lucian gone, the elves reluctantly rejoined the Divine Alliance. Their place in the war on the Void would entirely depend on the integrity of the new Divine. And on the integrity of the elven Godwoken who did not ascend. And here and there, across the world, what was left of the Black Ring fought on. The island of Fort Joy remained a sorcerer's paradise, a place of exile for those whose sorcery threatened to bring in the Void. For their well-being, its residents depended entirely on the benevolence of the new Divine. Reaper's Coast struggled on. The farms and the fisheries fought to feed the people against the Voidwoken blight. The black pits took fire. The oil there burns still. Driftwood teetered on the edge of starvation until the night the Voidwoken came from the sea. All were killed. This did, however, put an end to the famine. The nameless isle had vanished. Although only open water remained, by instinct ships would steer clear. None of the captains could articulate why. Young Han grew up a warrior and became one of the Alliance's greatest generals. But even he could not win the war. Almira and Mihaili settled in an abandoned homestead. The locals liked and respected Almira. She never wanted for help, and deals always fell to her favor. Outsiders were often suspicious, but no local would speak against her. With a new Divine at the helm, Malady had a powerful ally, but she was in no hurry to call in her favor. After all, it might be the last thing she ever did. Having performed the greatest act of necromancy in history, Tarquin found the new world unchallenging. He became obsessed with rumors of another plane of existence. One day he vanished and was never seen again. Ahu the wizard served the new divine with honor, wisdom, and an at times unnerving feline elegance. The undead priestess Gratiana remained in her sanctuary, happy to wait for the war to pass. She was troubled only by the silence of her goddess. Jehan the demon hunter never stopped hunting for demons. Sahala sought to strengthen the elven alliance with the new divine. Her powers of sight proved useful in the ongoing war against the Void, but she could never be sure that the new divine trusted her. Tova, her mother, was Sahala's most trusted warrior. Fane traveled Rivellon, notebook in hand, recording the wonders he discovered. He kept a socket peeled for signs of the Eternals, hoping to find the wife he had lost. He's still looking. Sabine wandered the world. She became a household name, famed the realm over as a traveling hero, celebrated wherever she went. Enjoying life to the fullest, she was truly and finally free. Lohse returned to her music and enjoyed a storied career as the Divine's premier musician. Dark moods would still overtake her, and she would spend long hours walking in the wilds. She always returned with a new song. And then there was you. For how much of this do you take credit? Or blame? And what kind of divine were you as the world battled on? Did you show mercy or strength? Did you sacrifice others as Lucian had done? Did you regret becoming divine? Should you have given your soul and sealed the veil? Only you know the truth. Only you know if you atone for your sins.
Come to me, the night is dark. Come to me, the night is long. Sing for me, I'll sing along. Sing for me, oh sing for me. Come to me, the night is dark. Come to me, the night is long. Sing for me, I'll sing along. Sing for me, oh sing for me. Sway with me, we'll make them scream. Dance with me, we'll make them bleed. Sing for me, I'll sing along. Sing for me, oh sing for me.